Hello all and welcome, and I'm the MGTOW Philosopher. I wanted to comment on this video where you have a bunch of entitled, poor, of course, black people crying about how they're the victim, they're always the victim, these poor, poor people who put themselves in this bad situation through their bad choices, but they're somehow the victim. Crying about how they didn't get their food stamps. Boo-hoo, boo-dee-hoo-hoo-hoo. I'm loving this. This video is so funny. I just can't wait to watch it and comment on the absurdity of all the shit in it. Watch. This is so friggin' hilarious.
And frustration from dozens of Clayton County parents who say their children are going hungry tonight after their food stamps were suddenly cut off.
Oh, boo-hoo. The poor children. Think of the children. Oh. Well, who told you to have these kids, okay? That's number one. Number two, who told you not to have a fucking job? Oh, that's right. When you incentivize sloth, people will be slothful. Imagine that. And by the way, these kids, yeah, okay, it's not their fault, through no fault of their own. All right, but that doesn't mean I'm going to incentivize their parents to have more kids, okay? The kids got to go hungry. The kids got to go hungry. I'm a pragmatist. I'm not some bleeding heart liberal who's led around by my feelings, and I will let myself destroy the whole friggin' world because I feel bad for somebody. Incentivize sloth and laziness, and you get what we have now. Okay, 50 million people almost on food stamps. It's a travesty.
Fox 5's Justin Gray is at the live desk with the story that is all new tonight on The Edge. Justin.
Tom, state officials admit to me tonight that something went wrong down in Clayton County.
Trump is cutting their money. Trump is cutting funding, okay? And it's a good thing, all right? They're trying to reorganize their payments and everything else because funding is being cut. They don't know what to do. They're actually having to find money because now Trump is requiring counties and local constabularies to actually put in part of the food stamp money themselves so they don't leech off the federal government anymore. Something Obama put on hold, by the way. No, you don't have to pay part of the food stamp money going to the people who live in your state. The federal government will flip the entire bill. This is the man who spent more money in 8 years than every single president before him in a 232-year period. Unbelievable.
The office that administers food stamps and Medicaid, but they're still not sure what.
I tell you, they don't want to tell you they're having a difficult time getting their budget woes fixed because they're having a hard time finding the money to feed these leeches.
Tell me tonight they can't buy food without those food stamps.
Oh, sure they can. It's called getting a job. It's called getting a job. Get off your ass, go out, and get a friggin' job. How hard is that? Ah, but you've been incentivized by the state to be a lazy son of a bitch. I see.
This food stamp card ain't got number 17 cents on it.
Hilarious! 17 cents. Yeah, you can't buy a lot with 17 cents. This ain't 1876 anymore. You can't buy a nickel steak, unfortunately. Look at this woman. Not only is she a black person, but she's probably a black feminist as well. You can notice that by the fact that she's wearing some kind of skull cap and you don't see any bulges, which means she's completely bald. So, yeah, be as ugly as possible, have no job, yeah, and live off the state. Perfect example of a feminist. And she's black.
Terry Clark says she stood in line for more than 6 hours.
Oh, you're now a victim again because you stood in line for 6 hours. Now we have to feel sorry for you some more. Oh, my God, you poor thing, you.
Clayton County's Human Services Office because food stamp help for her 6 children.
Holy shit. She's got 6 kids. What the fuck? That is one of the ugliest women I've ever seen. Male standards have dropped considerably if she has gotten multiple men to fuck her. Unbelievable. Jesus Christ. The only thing that's even more surprising is she's not a fat pig, although she's probably a hooker or something. I mean, look at her. I mean, good God. Maybe she's has AIDS or something. Who knows? It could explain why she is so skinny. Generally, these black welfare recipients are land whales, as it were. I don't imagine this chick is doing a lot of CrossFit or anything like that. Oh, my God. She's still hideous, though. 6 kids. And what the hell is she doing having 6 kids with no job? I mean, she's like, I need a food stamp to feed my 6 kids. Well, maybe you shouldn't have had 6 kids, honey. Did you ever think of that? Maybe you shouldn't have had 6 freaking kids. If you didn't have 6 kids, you wouldn't have such a big problem feeding your kids because you wouldn't have any. You dummy. And where's your man, by the way? Oh, geez, you didn't bother to get married and form a stable, productive household because you didn't have to, because the state was flipping all the bills and paying for your internet and paying for your house, paying for your food, paying for your electricity, giving you Obama phones and Obama internet.
Expectedly ended.
There's no telling my kids that we can't eat.
Yeah, there is. They can't eat. It's better they learn now than later the realities of life, honey. Somebody should have taught you the realities of life. Then maybe you'd be out working your ass off at a job, and you'd have some self-respect and some dignity. Although I highly doubt it. But possibly.
I'm not taking no, because my babies don't deserve that. No.
Your babies don't deserve... Well, life isn't fair, honey. And by the way, they do deserve it because of you. It's your bad choices to put them in this situation. Okay, it's through no fault of their own that they don't have any food. Not my problem. That's your problem. That's your problem to fix. If you can't feed them, they don't eat. That's how the world works. By the way, that's how nature works too. Okay? Nature works like that. I don't see lions running around complaining about they're not getting their friggin' food stamps. I mean, they go out and they hunt, they produce, or they don't eat, and their kids don't eat. You do not give people free food forever and then be surprised that they don't get a job and they don't do anything, okay? And then you also can't be surprised when you take it away suddenly and they're bitching and moaning about how they're entitled to free shit. They should be getting their free money, their free food stamps. Of course they're feeling entitled and acting like, oh, I deserve this. You've given them this sense of entitlement by giving them free shit for years.
Nobody kids should go hungry down.
No, yes, they should. They should all go hungry. If you can't get a job and work for yourself, you should go hungry, okay? And by the way, yeah, we're supposed to feel sorry for people who, through no fault of their own, end up in bad situations. And by the way, there used to be mutual aid societies that would take care of people who ended up in bad situations like that. But the government destroyed those organizations when they implemented very inefficient welfare programs that turn people like you into leeches because they indiscriminately hand out money to anybody that needs it without looking at the individual circumstances of that person's situation and then deciding, do they deserve the help or do they not?
Here in Georgia.
State officials say this office was overwhelmed today, with dozens of families facing a similar problem. The food stamps just not there.
Oh. Poor people. Look at us, all illegals and black people and minorities, of course, because the white people have to get a job and work to pay for these leeches.
Me and my kids, they haven't ate since this morning.
They have not eaten, you boob. Use the present perfect. And this is what I'm talking about. No education whatsoever, all right? And people are responsible for their own life, their own actions, their own choices. Yeah, you could say, oh, she's a poor person. Oh, boo-hoo. You know, she had no chance. She never had a chance. I don't believe that shit at all. Your life is governed by your choices, all right? She might have grown up poor and destitute, but who told her to have kids? And who told her to have kids without a husband? And as we all know, black people are one of the most privileged classes in America. Although they moan and complain about how oppressed they are, these people can get into almost any college. They get like a 260 point bump up on their SAT tests over Asians, for example. They get all these benefits of being black, of being a minority. So don't tell me that she couldn't, if she hadn't been so stupid as to have kids, that she couldn't have, say, gotten funding, scholarships, Pell Grants, something to get higher education, to get more training, to get more skills and human capital, so that she could go out and get a freaking job and make something of herself. And then when she had a career, when she'd met a man that was a stable provider, then she could get married and have kids and be ready to have those kids and not have to rely on the state. So nobody told her to be in this situation. Nobody put her in this situation. If the kid starves, it's her fault. It's not the state's fault for not giving her free shit.
So, and I was supposed to get my food stamps yesterday, and I didn't get nothing.
Oh, I didn't get nothing. Oh, my God.
So they was getting angry. They started banging on the windows.
Yeah, imagine that. You take away all these people's free shit, all these entitled assholes, and they get real angry. Well, big surprise.
Spokesperson tells me what happened here today was out of the ordinary and it was unexpected, but they say they're not sure what exactly went wrong. What was the glitch that led to this mess?
It's because funding has been cut to food stamps by the federal government. They're requiring the states to flip more of the bill. And suddenly, they can't. And all these poor people, yeah, they're probably going to lose a lot of their food stamps because a lot of these people shouldn't have been getting food stamps in the first place. They're perfectly able to work. If they hadn't been enabled in the way that they are, they would have been out working instead of sitting on their ass at home watching The View.
Our budgets have not increased. They've been actually decreased.
Right. There, he just said it. They've been decreased. That's correct. Good.
Director admitted to me there were problems here as he tried to calm fears. And his statement as state spokesperson says, quote, "We have both state and county staff working to understand the cause of the problem today. We are working to ensure people receive their food stamps as soon as possible."
Okay, so they're still trying. They're still trying to keep these people on food stamps even though they don't have the money because the federal government isn't providing nearly as much anymore. But they still want to keep these people on these entitlement programs and put themselves into even greater debt, these stupid states, even though they don't have the money because they want to keep those Democratic voters happy. Unbelievable.
I'm a cancer patient.
The little violin is playing just for you. You're a cancer patient. The world must revolve around you. There's a lot of cancer patients out there, sweetheart. So what?
I need these pills to survive.
I need a lot of things, too. It doesn't mean I'm going to get them. They're not going to magically appear out of thin air. I need $1 million. Poof! Whoa! Yeah, the reality doesn't work like that, honey.
Candace Bennett says her cancer medications have nearly run out.
I got an idea. I got a thought. Okay. Get a job! Why don't you get a job? You know, the unfortunate truth is that some people in this world get sick, some people in this world get ill, and sometimes it happens through no fault of their own, and that's just reality. And either they have the resources to fix the problem and get it addressed, or they do not. What you don't do is turn the world upside down and steal other people's money to help these people if they can't afford to help themselves. You don't do that. That's not the solution.
And after spending all day here, her Medicaid and her food stamps are both still on hold.
Amazing. Amazing. These people can get up off their fat asses, and most of these people had pretty fat asses. Except for the mom that has the 6 kids. And I mean, the only reason she's thin is because she's running around chasing 6 fucking kids. But most of them are fat ass sons of bitches. And it's amazing. They can get up off their asses and go down to this a place and spend 6 hours, 8 hours, 10 hours in line. That's a lot of effort. Well, why can't they put that effort into getting a job?
When are y'all gonna come through? When you gonna come through?
When are you going to come through, sweetheart, and get a job, huh? When are you going to come through for yourself instead of expecting other people to take care of you?
When I'm on my last pill?
Maybe when you're out of pills, and maybe I still won't come through, and maybe I'll let you die, okay? Because it's not my responsibility to help you. The world is not there to serve you, you narcissistic bitch, you.
Or better yet, when I'm dead?
Maybe.
And then I won't need it.
That's right, and we'll save a lot of money on your sick ass. You know, when I say something like that, people would cringe maybe or be like, oh, you're so cold and unfeeling. No, that's not the point at all. I just see the big picture that essentially trying to aid people who do not want to aid themselves is a mistake. It's a waste of resources, essentially. And this woman, she contracted cancer through no fault of her own, supposedly. We don't know. Maybe she was a heavy smoker or drinker. We really don't know. But even if it was through no fault of her own, to assume that she somehow deserves to be helped, Well, that's a pretty big assumption. Why? Why would you assume that? Where does that come from? Where's the where's the logic of the reasoning to say you have a right? That's circular logic. She has a right to be helped because she has a right to be helped. Total nonsense. Give me an argument that tells me why this woman deserves or should be getting free medication.
State officials say that Clayton County office was closed Monday because of furloughs, and that could have...
Right, they're short on funding, but they're still going to continue to try to feed these freeloaders. You know, I have sympathy for certain people, and certainly for people who, through no fault of their own, have contracted an illness or sickness. But the food stamp thing, absurdity. Most of these people can work. They should be required to have jobs to get food stamps. The government can individually decide on a person-per-person basis, and this is how it should be getting done, based on whether or not someone deserves it, whether or not someone is qualifies. Are you able to work or not? I mean, if you're a guy that's got no arms and no legs, maybe you should be getting some kind of benefits from somewhere. I don't think the government is the answer, but that person should certainly qualify more than anybody I saw on that tape. They all look like able-bodied people who could get jobs. I am the MGTOW philosopher, and I wish you a good day. Take care.